ClubMX Network production.
Welcome to the Troy Lee Designs and Racetech Suspension and Engines Blair Matthes Project.
Yeah, welcome everybody to another edition of the Troy Lee Designs Racetech Blair Matthes Project. Thank you for watching and listening. Lots to get into when it comes to the Anaheim 2 and then the Triple Crown this weekend back in Houston. Super sweet to be back in Houston, I think, one of the cooler stadiums and cities on the circuit. So thanks for watching and listening. We're going to take some fantasy thoughts as well at the end of this podcast because you guys got to stick around for that. It's unbelievable what I'm doing right now with this. But thank you to Troy Lee Designs for coming on the show. Dylan Ferrandis, of course, Troy Lee Designs, Ducati, looking pretty good out there. And also, if you want a deal from Troy Lee Designs, simply email us using the contact form on Pulp. We will pass it on. Remember those cool visors that Troy started making like in 1982 or 3, and then he made the Aero 2 after that while he's doing helmets the whole time, some of the coolest helmets, some of the most iconic helmets in the industry. Well, they still do that, but they got mountain bike gear, they got dirt bike gear, and it's the House of Cool, Troy Lee Design. So email us using the contact form. We'll get you a discount code to save with them. And Racetech too as well, racetech.com. New gold valves for 65s and 85s. And also, of course, motor work and suspension work. Suspension parts as well. If you just need heavier springs for your weight and or speed, they can cover you there. And then also they have authorized service centers all across America, so they'll dial you in with that. Racetech.com. Tell them you listen to Daniel Blair exclusively, and you'll get a discount from the folks at Racetech. I also want to thank the folks at Zool, Seat Concepts, Firepower, Maxxis, ASV Levers, Stomp Grip, all on board with us, Namira as well. And yeah, man, lots to get into when it comes to this show. All right, I'm Steve Matthes. Producing the show, holding things down is the Fraud, a.k.a. Kellen Brower. And now, the Arena Cross Regional Champion, ClubMX's own Daniel Blair. What's up, DB?
What's up, Steve? Yeah, Houston. I have a soft spot for Houston. I actually got my first top 10 at Houston. I raced my very last Supercross ever in 2012 in Houston, and my son raced the KTM Junior in Houston. So it's actually probably my favorite stadium if you look at just like history and memories and all that stuff. So go Houston. Welcome back.
Yeah, when I think of Houston, I think of the Astrodome because as a Canadian traveling the circuit back in the day, the Astrodome seemed like, I don't know, the size of my entire city that I grew up in. It was so big. It had a huge floor, red dirt, not very good lighting, a big C.E. Altman tabletop jump they had every single year there. And also, Houston is the place where I fixed my back. Thanks to Tim Ferry all those years ago. He's a doctor. He's an incredible champion, and he's everything. He's a chiropractor, all wrapped up into one. The great Tim Ferry.
What do you mean you fixed your back?
Well, I think I've told this story before, but so I had a herniated disc. It was like 8 millimeters out, right? While I was at Yamaha working for Ferry, and I was popping Vicodin all the time, and so much so that like Timmy's wife, pulled me aside one time and was like, hey, do you have a problem? Like, do you need to see somebody? We'll help you. And I'm like, yeah, I got a problem. My damn disc in my back. Anyways, so I go and have surgery down in Irvine. They shave the nerve away from the disc. Same doctor that did DeCoster. DeCoster helped me actually get in with this doctor. So they fixed it, but they fixed it like 80%, let's say. It was 80% better, but still some pain. Did all the rehab. Did all of that. Now we're getting into medical hour here on the TLD Blair Matthes show, Racetech. But okay, so then, but I'm way better, but I'm still in pain. But it's better, and I'm doing stretching, and I'm trying to get it fixed and whatever. Houston 05, Ferry's bike not running that well. Shocker, I was a mechanic, and he's telling me like, hey, it's jetted, not right. It's not working right. So we're leaving the track after practice. I'm on the back of the bike, and he wants to show me sort of the transition of the bike, and he thought it was in neutral. Bike was not in neutral. He goes, look it. He's looking back at me. Look it. Yeah. And the bike just goes, yeah, like straight up. I go ass over end on the back onto the concrete, like right outside the tunnel, right as you leave the track. All the mechanics, everyone else can see me. My radio goes everywhere, fanny pack everywhere. And I'm like, dude, and I was so pissed. And he's like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, just go. Anyways, that night, so that's a Friday night. I don't think it was the day before the race. I don't think it was race day. It was Friday practice or something. So that night, I'm in huge pain. I'm like, I'm screwed. The surgery, I'm going to have to go back to the surgeon, or I don't know what's going on, but I'm in massive pain, and I'm worse off than I was. I landed right on my ass on the concrete, all of that. Woke up in the morning, was fixed. That other 20% was gone.
No way.
I was 100%. I've never had problems since then, knock on wood. It was like the adjustment I needed to
no way
fix that 20%. And he takes credit for that. He said he knew that when he threw me over back. So that's what I think of when I think of Houston. Yeah.
I mean, intentional credit is one thing, but he should get some credit. I mean, if it works, it works. So
I woke up the next morning. I was in so much pain Friday night. I popped a bunch of Aleve or whatever and had to lay there in a fetal position. God, it hurt. And then woke up in the morning and was like, hey.
And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So,
wow.
What about
Houston,
you, Fraud?
Right on Houston.
Right on Houston. What about you, Fraud? Houston Supercross. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Oh, good one.
What about Wyndham dying? That was in Houston, I think.
Yeah, that's 2012. Yeah.
That's the last night I raced Supercross ever. I made the 450 main that night. I was in that heat race, and that was it. That was my last Supercross in my career.
And I think Wyndham. That's the same race that Barsha was roosting mechanics after the race too, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Did he have a perfect season ruined by Lance Vincent?
Lance Vincent, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And he was screaming at him while he was laying in pain in the middle of the track, and he was cussing him out. Yeah. That was that night.
Honestly, the thing comes to mind to me is I just grew up watching Bar to Bar on repeat. So I remember watching Bar to Bar 2 in '98, and Ezra just working everybody there, just pulling away, gets away from Emick early, and pulls out a 15-second lead. So pardon it because he was on the Pulp Show this week, but yeah, Ezra killing him there.
How about Dino blocking Kenny? For a main event win.
That was Houston?
It was it was on the residency trip, I believe. It was the third night of the residency, I think, maybe. But yeah, that one I remember. Barsha winning the first ever gas race ever.
Yeah, Houston.
Debut. Houston. Yeah. Cool stadium. Cool, good dirt, good race.
Weege stealing JT's creamer out of the fridge when we all lived in an Airbnb for those COVID races also comes to mind. JT was not happy. And Weege was like, sweet, man, don't got to buy any creamer. So
also, Hayden Deegan's Supercross debut. Houston.
Yep. The infamous ripping that berm video where he just railed. I don't know if it was on press or what, but yeah, that video has been viral. It was pretty good.
Same race at J-Mart, last lap. Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Houston Supercross, everybody. Catch the fever.
Well, they don't go there that much, and it's actually a good spot. I mean, it's a cool I'll tell you what, it is going to be cold this weekend, and the ride from the pits to the stadium back and forth is a brutal one. But yeah, my son did the KTM Junior there, and it was pretty cold that year. My wife did the whole thing with him, and she was like, this sucks. So, but no, cool stadium. Glad it's back. I like when it shows up on there. Usually has good racing too. Triple Crown. So, good timing. I think we need a Triple Crown a little bit. Juice this up, especially 250.
Yeah, for sure. All right, lots to get into again. Thanks to the folks at firepowerparts.com. ClubMX using the batteries over there. A bunch of privateers using the Firepower chains. Firepowerparts.com. Loading ramps and stands. They're fantastic, as Daniel knows. And firepowerparts.com for more information on that. Maxxis tires. Mitchell Harrison and Vince Freeze coming together in unison with their Maxxis tires. That was a good job by both of those guys to have Maxxis tires on. And the Maxxis.com, great mountain bike tires. Jeremy McGrath helped develop the dirt bike tires, so they do pretty well. Light truck, and I guess they crush it in the UTV world. I'm not a UTV guy, but if you have a UTV that you ride out in the desert or wherever, King of Hammers, crap, the Maxxis tires are great for your UTV. So, all right, Daniel, a couple things off the top. I did want to, let's get into this right away because this is something close to your heart and your team and all of that. Ryder Malinowski, scary crash. Chad Reed interviewed, kind of throws him under the bus for that timing. We talked to Yogi about his comments on Monday night. Yogi had some good stuff to say as usual. Like, do you want them out there in the beginning when the track has no lines and the speeds are higher and they crash? Do you want them, with a little bit of realization of what they're going to face when they're racers? So let's go this. Malinowski should be okay, Daniel. And then what do you think of Chad's comments and the place of the SMX race in the night show?
So Ryder is long-term going to be okay. I mean, it was definitely one of the scariest things ever. Of course, the internet has every angle you can imagine now has gone viral. Like 10 videos have gone viral.
Yeah.
One of the worst things I've ever seen, obviously really, really tough for me because, I mean, Ryder is, I mean, I'm with him every single day here. We actually just signed him to an extension into his pro career. So he has a pro contract for 2027. It was a kind of a big moment for us here to do that with him. And then for this to happen was really terrible, especially he was second in qualifying too. So he was ripping and ready to get after it. But he will be okay. So ultimately that is good. And Max Shane as well. He was the other rider. He was actually the last kid I signed at Orange Brigade before I left. He was the last kid I signed. So they both mean a lot to me, and I'm very, very, very relieved. As far as what Chad says, first off, I got to take it in real time here. I'm blown away when all of a sudden he pops up on screen and Will's like, I'm with Chad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe they're going to Chad for two reasons. Number one, Chad will.
Let me ask you this. Is that a Bondo thing or a Will thing?
Either way. It could have been anybody. It could have been whoever's idea it was, they ran with it. And my first thought was, I had two thoughts immediately at the same time. One was, oh boy, because Chad definitely shares his opinion, good or bad. And usually he's not afraid to say what needs to be said. And I'm so glad he said what he said, because I agree 1,000%. But I was shocked because Ryder was the one down. Chad could see that from where he was. And I was like, ooh, that's weird timing to be going to Chad right now while Ryder is laid out in the middle of the track. Like I thought it was odd timing a little bit.
It was a mistake. First of all,
you're being way nicer than me, because I thought so too.
No, it was a mistake. Like, regardless of what Chad said and all of that, I don't think with something as serious as that. I mean, dude, they brought out a defibrillator. They had a bag there, like a tarp there to, like, maybe it got worse. Like, I've never seen that tarp out before. Very serious situation. Maybe not interview the dude who, works with him every single day and is super close with him. Like, not a great idea.
No, okay, you said it. I agree. But that's why I didn't want to hit him twice in one question. But here's where I'll hit him. I believe what Chad said was 100% accurate, and it's because these kids are learning this thing, and they're getting better at it. And brutal conditions, beat up track, doesn't change their mentality. These kids all are trying to make it. Look at the kids that have made it out of this, between Juju, Dax Bennick, Cole Davies. I mean, kids are having their lives changed in these races by succeeding. And a gnarly track isn't going to make them go, well, I guess I better settle down. No, they're going to go all in no matter what, because they're all chasing this opportunity. And a smooth, good track, these kids are good enough to get through that okay. So for me, it's they have to be early. They have to be when the track is in good condition, because it is safer for them. The effort's going to be all in no matter what. And that track was beat up. And I'm not as even mad about the race as I am in qualifying, because they're the last qualifier, both sessions. That's 6 12-minute sessions, 72 minutes before they got to go and qualify. That track is it's so bad. I mean, 450C guys are out there like, it's hard to even watch. And then these kids go. So to me, I don't think you introduce these kids to the sport this way. You do it when the conditions are right so that they can execute clean. They're going to try their hardest no matter what. And Chad said it, and I thought he said it super professionally. It was very, very gentle. I'd say for Chad's style of communication, he was very professional and said, hey, got to do better, but I don't believe this. I got my own kid coming up in this. So I actually texted Ellie during the race, because I think she was probably a little concerned, like, uh-oh. And I said, no, he said it. He was correct, and he was professional, and I agree with him 100%. And I didn't hear Yogi's thoughts. I respect Yogi a lot, so I would love to hear what he said. I just probably don't agree at all, though. I think it should be a smooth track for these kids all the time. It's too gnarly.
Yogi said, because I mentioned, hey, put him first. Yogi said the track's perfect. It's really fast. It's not worn in yet. And now their speeds are higher. And if they crash it, they're going faster. So that was something that Yogi said.
That makes sense. The math in that makes sense, but what he's not taking into consideration is the mental side of these kids and how they're wired. Every one of these kids on the gate is like trying to be the next Cole Davies, and a ruddy, beat up track is not going to check them. So to me, no, you got to protect them from themselves a little bit, and I would say do not put them on a gnarly, beat up track where they're going to go for it in conditions that they do not see. They don't see conditions like that when they're all practicing supercross, because they all do. They never see them like that. So I wouldn't throw them into something that they don't see on the moment that may change their life. That's a bad combo, in my opinion.
Keller, what do you think about this whole thing?
I agree that there needs to be like, I guess, track work of any kind done before this, because literally there was not much time between the heat races till this race happened. So I can see how like Dudney and these other guys are saying like track is in the best shape, and Ezra said the same thing about what Dudney said and all that stuff like that. But as we all know, it rained a lot, or rained at least a little bit before this race this week, where the transitions were really notchy, had a lot of ruts in them. And while some of those guys are comfortable in those conditions, not every single one of those guys is. So I would think at minimum clean up the transitions before you send those guys out there. And if that means that you have to send them out as the first race because there's not enough time to clean up the transitions, then I think that's a necessary step to take.
And Dudney wasn't wrong. It was the best they had seen, because they had seen after 450C twice.
Well, no,
so
they
it
were
was
the first,
better.
They were out there first to start the whole day at 9:30. They're out first.
Totally.
Yeah.
For their free practice, but that was not what they had come off of in the last two. So for him, it got a lot smoother than what they had just seen. But if you go back and watch Max Shane and Ryder's crash from the back, there's a whiskey throttle clip. There's ruts, like deep ruts in every one of these transitions on lap one. And that's what happened is Max got a little cross-rutted, shot to the right. Ryder went for 3, shot to the left, and they met in the middle 50-50, and absolutely catastrophic. And again, you got all these kids wired to go for it, and I think you got to be a little safer than that. So,
yeah, I mean, there's a point where Dudney's correct that after 4 heats, it's the best that he's seen it outside of that very first practice, because of how
what it
qualified.
was.
Yeah, then what
that
it
didn't
was.
mean it was smooth. It was not. It was the worst. It was
for fans who don't know. Like when the night show hits, that heat race, that track is perfect. That thing is redone and refaced and everything. Now, obviously, there was that problem in the split lane, the triple after the split lane, where Brandon Ray and Levi weeded. That was definitely a mistake on their part, like as far as looking at the transition or looking at the holes or whatever they did there.
Yeah.
That's more of just an operator error that unfortunately happens from time to time. No one's perfect. But yeah, the SMX guys, I mean, to me, you put them at the front. I mean, Yogi, I respect Yogi just like what you said, Daniel, but to me, you put them at the front and start with that. If you're not starting with the stars of the sport, i.e. 450 guys, then who cares? Yeah.
And I'm with you on that. If we're already going that route, then go that route all the way and give these kids the best track possible. They're not going to be in more danger with a smooth track. That's just that again, they're wiring in these kids. That doesn't make sense. They're not wired that way.
Staying with the ClubMX team here, we'll get to Houston and look back at some 450 stuff too. But Kellen's guy, Max Voland, he said he's got to test some pants this week because they gave him arm pump. JT said, I'm speechless when asked for a comment on this. I'm blaming the fly pants for me not making Loretta, so this is great for me because I have a built-in excuse now. But what are we doing, DB? What's going on here?
So I want you to know that bringing this up probably just cost you Journalist of the Year award. I want you to know that.
Okay.
So do you want to move forward? Because if you're willing to move forward, we'll move forward. But you probably just lost the award right now.
Well, I lost it to a part-time GNCC announcer, so it can't get any lower.
Okay. So I blame Lewis Phillips for all this and his great journalism. So I listened to the review show. I heard you guys bring it up too, and I was like, because I'm like, wait a minute, what? Because we know there's been a little bit of an arm pump issue. We changed suspension companies, bars, seat covers. Like there's been a massive change at Club in the last month before the season started, and they've been trying to identify like where a little bit of this arm pump's been coming from, and they couldn't figure it out really because it was sometimes and then sometimes it wasn't. And what we learned and what I learned in Max's interview with Lewis Max goes through this whole interview and he says, yeah, I got a little arm pump issue we're working through, but we'll be fine working through it. And Lewis, like the incredible journalist that he is, sees an opening, takes the kill shot when Max says, we think we've identified it. And Lewis goes back and goes, well, what is it? And that's where Max probably should have maybe turned left instead of right, because he answered the question. And he said, Kellen, yeah, we think it's in the pants.
Yeah, Kellen's a horrific PR manager. Like, Kellen needs to fix his guy.
Kellen, talk to your guy Lewis, dude. He went in on the kill shot.
I meant Max. Fix Max. Tell Max what to do. Don't tell Max not to talk to that guy. That guy's nothing but problem.
My message for Max is you just avoid Kellen, or you avoid Lewis from now on.
Yeah, avoid Kellen too. Avoid Kellen too.
And Kellen, Lewis is too good, Steve. He's too good at his job, and he saw the opening and he took it. But no, here's the reality, so I can clean this all up. When you see the riders on the starting gate, like kind of pulling up at their crotch and getting their pants tight, it's so that when they shoot off the gate, they don't slide back. Well, Max's frame is unique. He's really, really skinny and really, really tall. And since the Fly relationship with Club is like brand new and we're just starting, they didn't know that one of the sets of pants is a little looser in the crotch. And when he comes out of corners and seat bounces, he slides back. And so he's holding on tighter. And they identified that the only time it's ever happened is wearing these pants. So that's what he's talking about. He's not actually wrong. It's kind of just unique to him. And the cool part is, I will address this part of it, is that this week, Brandon and Fly were all on the phone together, like going through it all and identifying it and then working on an idea to fix it together. So it's actually a cool thing for two new brands that are working together that have no relationship. And it's like brand new to kind of figure these things out together. So it's all positive. And yes, Steve, there is a reality to what Max is saying. It's specific to his frame.
I mean, it makes some sense, but I mean, yes, the pants move. If anybody who rides any kind of pants, it does shoot you back a little bit.
My LBZs ran a little loose.
Yeah, see, you understand. The Fly stuff too, like whether it's Evo or kinetic mesh, it all does fit a little differently. The light stuff as well. Different. They all fit a little differently for sure. Yeah. And they're made that way. They're cut for different people's types of body.
And Max is really, really long, so everything fits him a little bit different. And so they're identifying like what sizes to wear and what to do about it. So,
well, can Kellen control his guy? Can Kellen not? Can he just control his guy?
Kellen?
We will work on PR strategies this week to come up with a better solution moving forward.
Just keep him away from the journalist of the year. That's all I'm saying, man. That Lewis is good, dude. He's
went such a great journalist that he heard Kiefer and I talking about life swap, and he's like, "Let's do a job swap." Like, dude,
I'd be livid if I were you on that. I mean, one week it's Race Day Live stealing your bit, and now it's them. But no, I went back and listened to Lewis's interview because I was super nervous. I'm like, oh boy, what did Max say? And he actually nailed the interview so perfectly all the way. Took accountability on, I'm getting some arm pump. We're working through it, and blah blah blah. And then he goes, I think we've identified it. And right when he said that, I went, oh, no. And Lewis goes, well, what is it? And Max took the bait.
Did the UK guy get to the bottom of what I did with Chad and how Max and Hunter Yoder need to stop hanging out together because they're transferring sickness to each other? Because that's what Chad told me.
I guess maybe you're back in the running for Journalist of the Year. That's a good pull, Steve. You did great on that one.
Because you can see they're buddies, so they're probably playing video games together or whatever these weirdo kids do nowadays. So yeah, they got each other sick. Let's stick with 250s. Why not? While we're at it, because we do want to talk about 250s here on the Troy Lee Designs Race Tech Blair Matthes show. So Ansty last weekend, like never very good as usual self. Like whether qualifying, heat race, main, he just wasn't himself. This is all coming off, of course, the San Diego thing where he led for a while until what we saw Deegan did. This is huge weekend for him, man. Like, look, Deegs is probably already going to win this thing. He looks really good. He's got the points lead now, 3 rounds in. Like, there's going to be hard to stop that. But Max has to strike this weekend. Like, otherwise, we're going to start talking about Ryder D. We're going to start talking about Mosman instead of Max Ansty. So a real off weekend for Max, and this is huge for him.
Yeah, I don't mean to be extra critical, but I kind of have to be if I'm evaluating the race fairly. I really like Max. Again, he's a WSX guy. I think he's one of the raddest dudes in the sport. So I have like my own feelings and want to root for him. But man, I thought it was a bad response to San Diego. I mean, that was a really, really wild, impactful night when you think about him and Hayden and what happened. And I mean, I think you got to come out in Anaheim and really, really, really bring it hard. And I saw in the first qualifier of Race Day Live, I was like, oh, God, he looks flat. He looks like he's rolling around a bunch. I think he fell once. And it didn't seem like the response that you would want to have if you want to hit back. I mean, if this is a 10-round fight and in round 2, someone pops you in the mouth, you got to do something pretty big in round 3. And it was not good. It was bad for him. And now you're right. And now the microscope is really on, because it's like, dude, you have to bounce back really hard in round 4. And I mean, win the thing if you want to be considered for this championship for real. The problem is other guys gain momentum off of that. Ryder D, I think he's going to have a good weekend. I think Mosman's catching fire. Like, now it's not just Deegan you're dealing with. You got other guys who have caught fire. So I'm with you. Like, microscope is out on Max this weekend, and he has to crush, because otherwise this whole thing falls apart in 4 weeks. And that falls into a narrative with him that he needs to shake. So this would be the weekend to shake it.
Couple things. Deeg starts still not ideal. Triple Crown this weekend, shorter races. Max's starts are good, not this weekend included in that. So you would think if there's any way that this is going to work for Max, it's Triple Crown this weekend where he can get a start, and Deegs can't get starts as good as Max and runs out of time.
Yep.
Or Max holds on for 2-2-2 or whatever and gets this thing back on the rails. But Daniel, don't you think? I still think take away Anaheim too. I still think Anstey's better than Mosman and Ryder D. You're totally right. Give him confidence, all of that. But I still think Max is better.
I do too. The momentum wave of the other two could overtake him this weekend, and then we would have to really re-rack the deck a little bit. Like, even Kitchen. Like, Kitchen is so unbelievably confusing. I can't even believe what's happened. But momentum swings matter in the 250 class even more than 450, because 450 guys can reset in a week and like they can bounce back quicker. 250, they really ride off of momentum. So, but yes, Max is still, I would put him in the hierarchy above them, but he is vulnerable this weekend. And if he don't bounce back big, then all of a sudden we're going to have to re-rack it a little bit and give Mosman or Ryder D or one of these guys some credit, because they had good A2s. They were both really good for different reasons.
And Kitch needs to bounce back. 3 first-turn crashes. He's just got to get on the podium. Never mind a win. I mean, a win would be great, but he's got to get something positive this weekend going. Something.
Like, try getting through the first corner.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, 3 weeks straight. That's insane.
It's not been good. Now, there's an LVK show that is done each and every week on the ClubMX network. It's Kellen's the co-host with that Lewis guy. I read the comments yesterday, Kellen, and did Lewis say Kitchen's been the fastest guy? Did you say that?
No, yeah, he did, but he basically said that he still believes that Kitchen can be or is the fastest guy in this series on his days.
Believes he can be the fastest is one thing, but of course YouTube comments not always the best, not always actually capturing the words that people say.
Ours are the best.
Yes, ours are the best for sure. So if he said he believes he is, that's fine. If he said Levi Kitchen is the fastest guy in the class, I'm pushing back on that. At this point.
I think it was more of just like he was talking about raw pace. Like, in one single lap, he thinks that Kitchen still has that potential. Is what I got the gist of what he was saying, but I think other people took it differently.
Well, okay, I could go with that, but we got to.
I'll go as the clear number 2. I mean, Deegan's beaten him now more times in their duels that they keep having, which those are rad. I'm telling you, the best thing I've seen out of 250 racing is Race Day Live, Kitchen versus Deegan every week. I mean, it is awesome to watch them just chip away at that time all the way through. So I'll go with the fact that he's still the second fastest purely, but Deegan's beaten him more. Deegan really has become all of it, man. He was so good at Anaheim in every single way imaginable. That was the most complete night, day, whatever you want to call it for him. But Kitchen would be your clear number 2 in speed, but he's 9th in points or so. I mean, poor Mitch.
The thing about Hayden that I liked, I thought he would catch Mosman quicker. Sure. Okay, whatever. But what I did like was he's even through the first 2 rounds, his supercross game is not on par with his outdoor game. There's moments, bad starts, wheelies, almost crashes, saves it. Whoops are better. I didn't see any moments at Anaheim too, man. The guy looked great. looked really in control, looked really able to sustain that pace. And once he got by Mosman, again, took him longer than I thought. He took off, So good job from Mosman. Absolutely.
The dirt helps Hayden too.
Yeah.
When he's got a little bit of grip, he is different. I mean, I think he's an A+ outdoor rider. He's a A- supercross rider, but you give him a little traction and he's like a solid A. Like that was pretty dang good.
I mean, it was surprising to see this is his 9th win, I think I saw in the stats, which ties him with Shane McElrath, which 9th wins in 4 years isn't great, but 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. Yeah, he's got the points lead here. By the way, thank you to the folks at Seat Concepts. Pulp 26 is the code to save with Seat Concepts. When Beta comes back for the outdoors, they'll have Seat Concepts on their bikes. Phoenix Racing, Ampro, Yamaha, SLR, Honda. Seat Concepts, ride the world with them. Pulp 26 to save 15% off your next purchase at Pulp Seat Concepts. From the Race 2.0 to the Comfort Series, check out their proprietary foam and handcrafted seat shapes, all of it. Put your ass in a better spot. Seatconcepts.com. Pulp 26. Daniel, I had somebody that knows me and you and the Beta people and Zach Osborne tell me Zacho will ride outdoors for these guys.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, dude, he's doing it. And I said to Zacho, what are you doing? He's like, no. And this person was like, yeah, don't listen to Zach. He's going to do it.
So don't listen to the guy you're talking about.
No. So we'll see. But
how would he do? 450 Outdoors is deep, dude. It's so stacked this summer.
I'm not a fan of these comebacks after retirement. I'm just not. I've had the same stance. Bradshaw, Kudrowski, Johnny O, you name it. Once you give it up, once you walk away and come back, J-Mart.
Unless you're J-Mart.
No, but that was just Millville. His other stuff for club and all that, So
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Zacho's a good friend of mine. He's on the payroll for Moto 60 show, but yeah, Zacho, just stay retired. Just don't come back.
I'm a big fan of Zach, but I don't think that would be the best move, depending on the expectations. If it was just because you wanted to help them and you want to develop and you want to have fun and scratch an itch, whatever, but you're also a 4-time champ in this sport. You kind of have a pretty sick legacy. I wouldn't go stink that up.
No. And then also ZulzBagCode.com. Speaking of Osborne, he uses Zul's bag. Trey Kernard broke his arm, by the way. So everyone at Honda's down except for Hunter Lawrence right now. ZulzBagCode.com, Pulp 26 code to save with those guys. That's 30% off Pulp 26 code. So that's a lot, people. Whether you travel for work, travel for pleasure with your family, like Kellen, or you're simply hauling kids and your gear to never-ending sporting events, Zulz have got you covered with backpacks, roller travel bags, gear bags, and more. Pulp 26 code to save with Zulz and Seat Concepts. Chance Hymas, the news came out, is going to miss the next 8 weeks with a shoulder labrum tear, getting surgery on that. He said he'll come back for the outdoors. And Daniel, we talked about Chance Hymas, got to stay healthy. This is now a 4th Supercross series in a row, maybe 3rd. He has not been able to do that. It's contract year for him. Everyone, we've already mentioned this a bunch across the shows, like Seth Hamaker's contract is up as well, and he's riding at the compound with the Lawrences. And, it's not hard to see Honda look at Seth and be like, we'll try it with that guy. Maybe not. I'm just saying it's not hard to say. But Hymas needed to stay healthy, man. I feel so bad for Chunk and Chris, his dad, and all of that.
Yeah, they are some of the best people in the sport, and I'm gutted too. I've been kind of on this all year on how he really set himself up this year to create a lot of value because everyone knows he crushes outdoor. I mean, we've seen, Thunder Valley last year. It was just disgusting. But he's never really showed it indoor. And yes, he had the muddy win, but he's never showed indoor like that he's the complete package. It's always been like a project. And that heat race at Anaheim was phenomenal. I mean, that's the best he's ever looked. And I'm thinking, dude, this guy is really setting himself up in a contract year to show that he's got the indoor, he's got the outdoor. Just be strong all year, don't get hurt, and he's going to have suitors. And you know how this works, Steve. The best way to create leverage is to have multiple offers. And Star would be after him. PC would want him back. Triumph would go after him. KTM would probably want him. Honda's going to try to keep him. The guy would have had the craziest leverage of all time. And it doesn't mean it still can't happen, but this just nicks it. It's like man, like it was so unnecessary. He didn't even do anything wrong. He fell in the first corner, and just the way he landed, it's just terrible. Mm-hmm. So I am gutted for him, but I do want to pivot back to Seth, because if Seth was to win 250 East this year, which he's got a good shot at it, he'd be one of the favorites for sure. Then he would be going into the 450 class in 2028 based on the rules. He would get 1 year to defend based on the length he's been in the class. I find it kind of strange that Honda would then go and want to like buy him for 1 year to defend without a 450 pathway for him. It's the Shimoda problem all over again. So I know this sounds crazy, but if he wins, I think he stays at PC. They would celebrate his victory in the return to winning championships and a 1 on the bike. I think he stays at Cowie if he wins, but if he loses 250 East, then I see him going to Honda. To me, it really depends on how he does, if he wins or not, because of what happens after with the rule. So,
and also Seth could get hurt as well. He has been hurt also.
Totally.
He never made it through the end of last season, or he did make it through the end of last season, but needed that shoulder surgery badly. So it's not like Seth.
He's going to run into Cole Davies too. That guy's decent.
Yeah, like so. Well, let's do an East Let's do an East preview when we need to. Sorry. Yeah, we need to. No, because I was going to ask you about Cole Davies, but let's shelf that for now.
Okay.
All right, 450 time here on the show, and Sexton rode great. I was scared after that heat race what would happen. He said he had to come to Jesus meeting with himself, and came out in the main event and rode great. So he got the win. Tomac third. But Sexton told us on Monday, Daniel, that he fears Hunter Lawrence late in the races more than anybody else, he said, more than the other guys. I think he used the term, because we saw Hunter close in on Eli in San Diego. Now, Eli said he didn't know he was there. We saw him close this weekend on Sexton, and then these words from Sexton, who doesn't throw around compliments like super easy about his other riders. So, Sexton sounds like he's got his eyes on Hunter.
I would too, even though I heard him say that, and I think that's one of the more psychotic things I've ever heard in my life, because he said he's more than Webb. I think he said it was on your post race interview show, and he said more than Cooper Webb, and my jaw dropped so hard I can't even believe it. Cooper Webb is like, it's what he's known for. He's a late race guy, but I think Chase has an issue with Cooper. I think it's both. I think it's both ways. I think they have a little issue with each other, because you wouldn't make that comment to give Hunter a compliment, who is more of a problem for you right now, and then just straight up diss Cooper Webb like that in such an inaccurate way. So he's crazy. But with that being said, if I'm looking at the championship landscape today, I'm definitely concerned about Hunter Lawrence if I'm Eli or Chase, because his stock is going up, 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 and he hasn't even won yet. And what I think Hunter's doing that's better than anything is showing that late in races at the 18-minute mark, he is absolutely on fire at the very end. And I mean, a lapper issue here or there at Anaheim, and that thing was tightening up. And Hunter definitely got screwed, I think, by Faulkner and one other. So if I'm Eli and I'm Chase, I'm definitely looking at each other because of the natural history that they've had battling. But I'm looking at Hunter going, because if that guy gets one win and that confidence takes one more bump up, I think they're in for a lot of trouble. Hunter is the total package, and he hasn't even won yet. So,
Well, Daniel, you race at a high level, and you know this. What's really impressive to me is you're leading laps in San Diego, and you're second in Anaheim too. You get passed by world-class racers, and they actually gap you a little bit in both cases. And to dig back that kind of fitness / tenacity / skill to dig back in and catch the guy who was going faster than you and pulled you, takes fitness, takes skill, all of that's really impressive work to do. If you watch, generally speaking, you watch any race, if a guy is behind you 2 to 3 seconds, slowly eats that up, gets you and pulls you, that's why you see Jason Anderson strike back right away so many times, right? Because Jason knows, like, I'm not gonna get this rhythm I need to catch this guy. Hunter has done that 2 weeks in a row, and that is really, really hard to do.
And that's what makes him scary, because it's emotional maturity. When you get past Zach Osborne, bringing him back up was so good at that too. If you get him, you better defend, because he could get you right back. But as a racer, when you get past, there's a natural emotional hit that you take, like, And riders tend to have a weird lap usually after that. But if they're really emotionally strong, they will bounce right back. And for Hunter, I've watched him now, like you said, 2 weeks in a row, get past. And instead of just like settling in and looking behind and goes, all right, who's next? He goes, no, I'm okay. He takes a little reset and then gets right back on it and actually gets better. And to me, that says that he's emotionally ready to go at it with these guys. And it's not just going to be a physical thing. It's going to be more than that. And that's where he's scary, because he's very good. We've known that, but he hasn't taken that leap yet all the way to the top. And when he did in the 250, he kind of took a step. Once he started winning, he became like the guy. And they should be really worried about him getting his first win. They really should.
Yeah, can you listen, man? I think you're right. Like, we're maybe underselling Eli a little bit. He does have the points lead in 2 wins, but yeah, to me, Hunter looks really dangerous, because honestly, Chase is Chase. He can go on a 5-race winning streak right now very easily, but then we can also just do a Chase Sexton thing. So nothing has changed with Chase in my eyes, either way. But Hunter, you got to watch out, man. Hey, there's a real cool story brewing here with Joey Savatgy. We had him on the show Monday night. 5th last week, 6th this week. He's a privateer. Like, there's nothing on his bike that, you can't get. He's putting it together. He really on Monday night said he's so comfortable with his bike. He just said he knows exactly what that thing's going to do, good or bad. He knows it's going to do this feeling is what he's going to have if he hits something wrong. So he's really comfy with his bike. Could Joey get, like, let's just say this continues to roll on. He finishes 5th or 6th in the points, whatever. Maybe gets in the box, maybe doesn't. And with the turnover we're having, could that dude end up back on a factory team?
Yeah, I mean, totally. It depends really on which one and what the benefit would be. I mean, if it's a money thing, there's probably more financial opportunity on factory programs. But if the money stays close, like
it's not. Factories pay more. 100%.
I know, and that's the tough part, because the factory pays more, which means then you got to go and start all over again. And it sucks when these guys find somewhere, get comfortable.
On a bike? Start all over on a bike? Yeah.
He's. I mean, if he had 5 offers next year and the money was the same across the top, you would never leave because you love your motorcycle. But if all of a sudden there's a dangly carrot over there and it's money, and then you got to go and start all over and hope that you're comfortable on that bike the same way, then you're taking a big risk on everything you've built. So yes, he can, but it has to be the exact opportunity that would make sense. And he would have to be really, really strategic and not just take it because it's factory. You know what I mean? Like, he's like walking into a very tough situation because he definitely deserves it and he's earning it. But man, is he good on that bike. He's also created this cool life for himself doing World Supercross. I mean, he's kind of found that perfect Brayton type life. And so it's hard to walk away from one of those and put you in more of a rigid program that's not as customized on maybe a bike you got to start over on. So he's performing himself into probably a difficult decision because he is worth it. And I think he's really good. And even based on hearing him on the show, his attitude has changed. He's talking differently now. Like, I'm with you. He's always been he looks at everything through such a weird lens, man. And he sounds different. So it was
changing. One of the reasons he left the Lawrences was people around there thought he was a bit negative, but then, like, to his defense, I've talked to him about this. To his defense, he's like, dude, I wasn't getting paid. Checks were bouncing. Like, I was hating my life. This was on the BTO team or Rocky Mountain team or whatever, right? With Butler. So, like, he was not in a good spot either in his life. But,
True. But I noticed something different. It's when he does good and then he disses himself after doing good. That always bugged me. He's very self-deprecating that way, where it's like he'll get a 5th and he'll be like, dude, good ride. And he's like, yeah. And you're like, dude, Joey, stop it, man. Like, dude, it was good. Take it.
I brought up his 5th last year and he's like, there's a lot of injuries.
He just
last year, like, dude,
give yourself a break, man. And he sounds different now, where he's like understanding that the field is insane. He's doing very well. He's beating a bunch of guys that are getting paid a lot more than he is. But at the same time, I'd be scared to change your life when you're in a situation that allows you to really customize your schedule. And essentially, you're living the Brayton life, man. And the Brayton life is good.
Yeah, but I guess DB, to me, in my eyes, like, what's he making? Like, is he? Do you think with World Supercross and everything that you think he's 350 all in? He doesn't get a gear deal. You know, Yariv. I would be surprised if he's 300 all in.
No, I would guess north of that. I wouldn't say
really. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
I would say 3 to 5 comfortably.
Because
If it was 3, I'd be like, whoa, and if it was 5, I'd be like,
spot,
whoa. So
at a
3 to
second
5.
spot at a factory rider, your salary's 300 ish, plus your gear, plus everything else. Like,
but there's rigidity in that, and that his place in his life right now, like, is an extra 50 to 100 grand worth changing a lifestyle that is really customized around you getting to kind of ride a bike that you love.
Hey, I'm going to text him right now. I'm texting him right now. Let's see if he
don't lie to him and say that I made up a number, because I know how you work.
I'm just going to say, are you north of 300K?
You tried to do this to him before, and he won't budge. I heard you. You
really?
Hammered him. Yeah, it was after World Supercross, and he wouldn't budge.
Oh, that's right. Damn it. Okay, well, I just texted him. Let's see if we get an update here on the TLD Race Tech Blair Matthes show. Because, well, and when you look at factory spots, if he keeps this up, he's not going back to Triumph. He's not going to Honda. He's not going back to Cowie. Now we have, just
not going to Suzuki.
Spots. Well, no, but Colt Nichols.
Ducati.
Ducati, yes.
Yeah, but Nichols ain't getting paid what Joey's.
No, probably not.
He's not making what Joey's making. But Ducati, nothing at Star. I mean, maybe the Husky group.
Yep.
Husky will have openings. I think Malcolm and RJ are on 1-year deals. So it'd be either Husky.
He's not replacing AP or Prado.
No. So in all reality, he might be performing himself into just a bump in value of where he's at. But if you have no leverage, there's nothing you could really do with it. I hate to.
Okay, he just replied. He just replied.
What did he say?
He said, "What?"
He's not going to tell you, dude.
No, he's not. Okay.
Joey, if you're listening, stay where you're at and just keep it going, dude.
Things are going Joey, well, get on a factory team. Get on a factory team.
If I'm Joey, hey, I'll tell you right now, Joey, you want to make more than 3? Get the AMA to change the rule and let you back in the 250 class, and I'll give you more than 3.
He's very bitter about that.
Dude, he'd be the first person I'd call. Like within 5 seconds of the rule change, dude, I'd be whining and dining.
StompGrip.com, ClubMX 26th for 10% off. Brought to you by the folks at Stomp Grip Design and engineered in Huntington Beach, California. Proudly made in the USA, whether you're racing Supercross, hammer and motos, ripping laps. Stomp Grip's dirt bike 3D grip tape and frame grips give you the control you need to stay locked in. And they're made specifically for your bike, but also they have universal dirt bike kits that you can cut the fit to create your own 3D grip tape, and StompGrip.com on that. Just going to tell him we were wondering about that. Hopefully he doesn't know anything about this show or anything else. Okay, Daniel, you did want to talk about a couple things, Jason versus Cooper and RJ versus Joey?
Yeah, I think it's interesting what happens over the course of a few weeks. And you come into the season and the hierarchy, it's so set in your mind of where these guys line up. And, Webb, of course, is the title guy. Jason, we're wondering, can he regain that, speed of the front, whatever. And now here we are 3 rounds in, and I think it's a legit question to ask, like, where does the hierarchy sit today? And it's not based on career. It's where does it sit right now with Webb, with what's happened with him, the way it's gone. I think the riding is still pretty good if you scratch below the surface a little bit. But Jason now 2 top 5s and, dude, leading laps and really in it. Like, where do you really put those two? And I think the easy answer is Cooper still, but I think there's an argument to be made right now today going into Houston that I'm kind of liking Jason more. He's gotten better starts, Triple Crown format this weekend. Mm-hmm. He's been the better starter in the races that matter. To me, it's so easy to line those two up and go, Webb is the guy. But then after 3 rounds, I think there's a debate there. So I'm just curious if you're going to go off the history so much, or if you're willing to have that conversation where maybe Jason is a little bit better right now.
No, I want to smash the easy button and take Webb still, because his results are nowhere near how he's been riding. Red flag at A1, crash while going for 3rd after that. San Diego Sexton incident, Anaheim 2 crashes in the sand. He might have got 3rd. Although actually, you know what? I take that back. I looked at the lap times yesterday, and he had faster than Eli 5 laps in a row. But then Eli I think was faster the next 2 or 3, and then Webb crashed. So it looks like Eli sort of stabilized it. But Webb was quicker for a little bit. Anyways, he's been absolutely screwed by all these things that have been going on. So no, Jason starts strong and then fades as it goes on, typically. I like Webb's Yamaha better than Jason's Suzuki.
What's up with Webb's starts in the mains? He's had a couple of decent heats, but the mains have been pretty bad.
They worked on starts with Jay Coop and Cooper last week, and yep, back to the drawing board, bro. And in Phil's words, that ain't it.
That ain't it. That ain't it. So and
we'll
again, and I'm with you.
Let's ask Keller. What does Keller say? Keller,
are you willing to take the debate? That's all I'm saying. Are you willing to put Jason up there enough, Kellen?
No, I mean,
thank you.
Wow. Like Jason,
my man, Kellen.
This little 6 race run at the beginning here is Jason's bread and butter. This is where he
but
won
I'm talking
his 20.
right now. I'm talking.
I know, but I'm
right
saying
now.
like I cannot look past that because this is exactly what Jason does all the time. We're like 3 seconds away from Webb getting on the box the rest of the season. I don't feel like we're looking at Jason doing that for the rest of the year. So
you guys both feel comfortable with Webb beating Jason this weekend? Very comfortable with that.
Yep, yes, I do. Yep.
Okay.
Boom.
I think it's a tighter debate than you're both making it. That's all.
Boom.
Okay. Boom. What was the second one again?
RJ and Joey?
Oh, yeah. Same thing. Like RJ, factory rider, coming off a 250 championship, great summer. Coming into the season, man, I had an expectation, and Joey kind of got a little forgotten about in my thoughts, but now here we are 3 rounds in. Has that changed for you? How did you feel going in? How do you feel now? Because that one's kind of, I feel like it's flipped a little bit too.
Well, RJ had a garbage A1, had an air fork, and went off of that because he hadn't tested much. And then A2 was good. A2 was better for Joey for the reasons we talked about. So, dude, I put him pretty equal. Honestly, I don't have a strong feeling either way.
Kellen?
I'll give you right now that Joey is better than RJ, but I mean, RJ coming in after his massive crash in the offseason, I feel like, again, they're like almost 2 crossing paths at some point. Like Joey's going to stabilize and RJ's rising up to be his level or maybe even better at some point midseason.
Okay. Hey, you guys know that an interesting stat I figured out this week, 11 of the top 15 in points in the 450 are 30 years old or over. 11 of 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to see some turnover for sure in this sport coming up.
That's wild.
That leads me to my conversation with Marchbanks on the weekend, who said, well, I got 14th. Like, I'm like, dude, look at everyone ahead of you except for Prado. They're all multiple race winners or champions.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. 14th is fine. It's your first one. Because he's a bit bummed at his result. Like,
it's better than not making it, dude. Let's just walk before we can run, dude.
Okay, how about this? I didn't run this by either one of you, but I want to get both of your takes. Prado, another podium this year or no? I'm still there. Yep, I think so, man.
I don't know about a main. I don't know if he can go 20+1 against all of them. Maybe if he hangs in there and there's some injury. I see heat race wins. I could see 3 or 4 more of those suckers, but I don't know, man. I really do feel like he finished right around where he is. I think he's like I said it last week. He's like an 8th place guy to me. This weekend would be a shot at it. I don't know if he can go 20+1. I think a Triple Crown maybe, but I think it would come in a Triple Crown before it would come in a long one.
He's going to get one. I'm telling you. I'm Team Prado. I've always been there. Kellen?
You've always been there.
I will say yes, but I will put the one caveat that we got to find the main event starts again. I don't know where they've gone. They're hiding somewhere. His heat race starts have been great.
This week Hunter did him no favors.
I know, but even like they've just been too inconsistent. And I almost wonder a little bit if you go back to some of the things that he said after his podium at A1, where like this, like he was like just shocked that all this was happening and like how fast it happened. And I almost feel like mentally he's still like thinking that a little bit. Whereas like GPs, he'll outstart anyone every day of the week. He'll get jumps 5 feet out of the gate over everyone because he knows he's the best guy or he believes that. And I don't think he's there. And so I think the confidence takes a little hit when it comes to just getting a main event start. He can do it in the heat, but the main event, he's like, I don't know if I can run with these guys yet. And I think that just takes like 1% off of his starts.
Well, and you're right, Kellen. The main event start he got smoked by Hunter, who then crossed over. But the heat race start, no one's crossing over because they're not going to be in front of him enough to even do that. Hunter wouldn't have been able to do that based on what he did in the heat. So maybe you're right. Maybe the main start, he ain't feeling the same confidence yet. But the heat race one was disgusting. I mean, it was such a big hole shot. And gate pick matters too right now. I mean, if I'm Jorge, I'm probably not wanting to start next to Hunter. He's a great starter too. Like these guys, when you're the first gate pick or second gate pick, you might get to choose the gate, but you don't really get to choose who goes next to you. And that sucks sometimes when all of a sudden it's like, oh man, that guy's next to me. Like, dang it, he's a good starter. And Hunter is a great starter. And so I think Jorge probably learned a lesson. Like, don't be next to 96 if you have a shot. If you have a choice.
Troy Lee Designs, Race Tech, email us using the contact form on Pulp. We'll get you a discount from TroyLeeDesigns.com. Race Tech as well. Zool, Seat Concepts, Maxxis, Firepower, ASV Levers, Stomp Grip, Namura, all on board with us. Namura, since 2001, Namura Technology has been supporting riders with engine components for motocross, ATV, UTV, watercraft stuff. From full engine rebuilds to performance upgrades, Namura delivers precision-engineered pistons, rods, gaskets, and more, exclusively distributed through authorized partners. Namura is your engine component brand. Learn more at namura.com for more information. ASV as well. Daniel, Bob is on it with the ASV.
He is, and they're expanding, as you're about to hear right now. ASV is proud to announce new partnerships with the TLD Red Bull Ducati program and the Progressive Suzuki Factory Race Team for 2026, welcoming Roxon, Anderson, Barsha, and Ferrandis to the ASV R&D department. ASV has levers for the 26 Ducati Desmo, 26 Yamaha YZF 450 and the 26 Suzuki RMZ 450. And they make levers for over 4,000 different years, makes, and models of dirt, street, adventure, e-bikes, including Stark Varg and Surons. And go to asvinventions.com. Use the code PULPMX in all caps for 20% off, or go to your local dealership as well. But yeah, Steve, they've expanded onto the Suzuki program with Roxon and Anderson and Nichols.
Good stuff. I have a ASV package coming to the house. I got a notice. I wonder if it's my hydraulic clutch lever, for the Nissan YZ. So, okay. Anything else before we get to fantasy here on the TLD Race Tech?
Nope. But I will start the fantasy segment by congratulating you on one of the most impressive performances of all time. And I just want to get that out of my mouth now.
I need to brag about this more. I need to brag about this on Moto 60, on Pulp, on everything. I'm phenomenal at this game for the most part. Enzo Lopes absolutely screwed me one week, but generally speaking, I'm phenomenal. So, Daniel, first up, you had a good week. Daniel, good job.
That's what makes it hard, because I had a great week.
You said Tomac would get second. He got third for one difference. You said Ferrandis would get 10th. He got 11th. And by the way, he got passed late in that spot too. He was 10th forever. And Dylan Schwartz, like just randomly Dylan Schwartz, who knows about Dylan Schwartz? You said 12th and he got 11th. You got 3. That's a great job.
Yep.
Way to go, little guy. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Good job.
I feel like Hunter Lawrence right now. Like, good job. You didn't win, though.
Yeah, except for me. I said Sexton would get second, and he won. That's one off. Missed it by one. Hampshire, 9th. Parker Ross, 9th. For a total of 1. Like, dude.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And the fraud, he's sitting over there every single week trying to trip me up, trying to screw me over, and I consistently come through. I'm up 8-30, so 22 ahead through 3 rounds. It's unbelievable, but here I am. I'm so good at this game. I love it.
I think it's time to trip you up.
I mean, it's not possible, but I know you'll try, the fraud.
All right, well, let's try this week, shall we? Let's have you lead off. DB did last week, and we just got done talking a bunch about this, man. Joey Savatgy.
Okay, 5th in San Diego, 6th in Anaheim. This is a triple crown. I'm going to go backwards for Joey a little bit. Let's go 8th.
8th for Joey, and then I'm going to give you guys 2 250 picks this week, leading off with Michael Moseman.
Ooh. It could be a big swing right there.
I think Levi's good. I think Levi pulls this off. I don't know about the win, but like he's back as a guy. There's no way this shit can follow him again. So he'll beat Moseman. Deegs will beat Moseman. Max's starts will be back. He'll beat Mosman. Ryder D's riding really good. Mosman magic may falter a little bit. Let's go 5th.
All right, 5th for Mosey.
Do you know that Mosman has never had 3 podiums in a row in his entire career. He's gone back-to-back 3 times. And so this would be new territory for him to stick 3 together in a row.
Well, I'm taking you guys. You saw my score, how incredible it was. I'm taking you behind my eyeballs, deep into my brain on what I think.
Into the genius that is Steve's fantasy
Thank
picks.
You. Oh, Daniel Blair.
Okay, and your last pick for Houston, Cameron McAdoo.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. Mosman and McAdoo, that is a
right.
If you look through history, that's a squirrely pair, but they're both
They've been good these last 2 weeks, Steve.
4th.
Wow. So he just said all the reasons why Mosman will get 5th. And he said, and then McAdoo will finish ahead of that. Okay.
All right.
No, 6th.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, on to you, DV. How about Justin Cooper?
Oh,
great job, Kellen.
Goodness gracious. The dude is
the window's 3rd to 12th.
Yeah, he is so confusing right now, man. 6.
6 for Jacob. And speaking of confusing, this is where the trend goes downward. Will it turn around for Max Anstey this week?
3rd.
3rd for him. And last but not least, Levi Kitchen.
Oh.
I told you, man, there's no way this shit continues. He rebounds.
I mean, it's a format where you have to get good starts, and the dude can't even get around the first corner.
But he's been okay in those first turns for the most part. Like, he would have came out top 5 every time.
Is his whole shot button going to release this week or no?
I don't know.
Can I change? I got to risk it for the biscuit. Let's go 2nd then. Let's go 2nd.
All right.
I'm tempted to put Kitchen 3rd and Anstey 2nd, but I'm just I'll run with it. That's my gut feeling. So yeah. There you go.
I don't think Deegs wins. I don't think so. Just because it starts in the short races. But we'll see.
I think Ryder D wins one of the 3 races.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Good
just
job
one
for
of the
Ryder D.
3. He gets his first big win.
Yeah. Hope so, for sure. And good job for Ryder D and that team for sure. Okay. Anything else? Daniel, you are in studio Monday night, ClubMX show.
Yes, I'm in studio. Can't wait. It's been a while too. I actually
yeah, you flaked on me last year.
No, I did once, but I was there last April during the World Mini. This is probably the longest I've not been in. I came with Randy Richardson to the World Minis. I think it was in April. That was the last time I've been.
The Fraud is in the week after you, so with Cole Seeley.
Cool.
That should be good. He says the Fraud says that people say he looks like Cole Seeley. Daniel?
I thought we covered this, and I don't think he said that. I think he said that people say that, right?
Yeah, I just said that. The Fraud says people say he looks like Cole Seeley.
He says that people say, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went over that, so yeah.
Okay.
All right. No, I can't wait. It'll be fun. It's been a long time.
Thank you to the sponsors. Support them. Use the codes. Blair Matthes Project Show. We are probably not here next week. We'll figure that out because Daniel will be in studio. So this might be the show for a couple weeks. You'll see what happens. But thanks for watching and listening. Appreciate it. Thank you to Kellen Brower for all he does behind the scenes for this. And Daniel, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. And we'll see you Monday night.